so welcome back to another episode of When We Cry Smoking Room. Today we have a special guest, and we're going to talk about Umineko, or just, I guess, 7 expansion things, and Animal Crossing. So today, our host will be me. This is, hello, I'm Mushroom, your neighborhood-friendly mushroom person. We also have Des. Say hi, Des.
Hello, Des. I am also what? I just said hello, Des. I mean, hello, audience. I am also friendly. That's what I meant to say.
That's Des. Yusuf?
Hey, I am Yensid. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Okay. Today, for our special guest, we have... Say hello!
Hello. I'm Luz, short for Lucia. I'm the person running the Animal Crossing Umineko account on Twitter, with the handle at Crossing Sea Cats.
Yay! Okay, so today we invited Luz here to talk about the process of making these fun Animal Crossing things, how she uses Animal Crossing as like a canvas to create all these iconic scenes from Umineko.
Yeah.
So before we go down and talk and interview like Luz, let's talk about what are everybody's experience with Animal Crossing.
Sure. Okay, should I start then? Well,
Yeah, sure, go for it.
my first experience with Animal Crossing was obviously Smash Brothers. In my case, for the Wii U, of course. The fucking meme, Villager, it was everywhere. Villager's gonna murder your family while you're asleep. Well, yeah, Villager was cool in Smash 4. Then, a friend of mine hacked my 3DS and I was able to play Animal Crossing New Leaf, I think. I think it was New Leaf. And, like, at first, I really didn't like it. I was like, well, this sure is a game. Does anything happen? No. But it sure is a game. So I just kind of dropped it. And then, a year later, I guess I picked it up again and I really liked it. I
Which
played it
game?
straight for like a week and then never played it again. I guess I played sometimes, just to pass some time. A New Leaf, the one for the 3DS. And then Animal Crossing was announced for the Switch, and I was really excited, but I didn't buy it because, yeah, I like the game came out mid-pandemic, right? And I was like, holy shit, there could not be a greater time to release an Animal Crossing game. I really wanna play this. Holy shit! But then I was like, wait a minute. I didn't quite enjoy Animal Crossing last time I tried it. I get the feeling I'm just gonna waste money, even though I feel so hyped to play it. So I've just been on this perpetual hype cycle since the game came out, in which sometimes I'm this close to actually buying it, and other times I just couldn't care less about it. So it's a cycle for me, honestly. And yes, that is my experience with Animal Crossing.
I see. What about you, Yusuf?
Okay, I was a fan of Animal Crossing since I was a kid on the GameCube.
What is the Animal Crossing game on a GameCube?
Animal Crossing.
Is it just that's what it's called?
I think it's I think the full
Animal
full
Crossing
title
shitty
is
version.
Animal Crossing Population Rising or something.
What? That's so
What?
no way.
What?
Or okay, let me fucking check.
Animal Crossing the Manifesto.
That's a very alarming title for Animal Crossing.
Okay, I
game.
think I think. Let me fucking check. Okay, it's yeah, Animal Crossing population growing, which I guess it's supposed to be like, hey, there's more people coming to
what
town,
a major innuendo
but it
that
just sounds
title
like,
is.
hey, these animals are having sex, they're having kids.
Yeah, what the fuck does Animal Crossing even mean? Before playing it, I actually thought that was what Animal Crossing was all about. Because what is that title?
E621 fucking ruined you.
What is that title? Just like animals drawing crosses
Or
on a
like,
sheet of
are they
paper?
crossing roads? I don't know.
What else could crossing
that's
mean?
We can come up with some crack theories later why we think Animal Crossing is called what it is.
I mean, there is that one crack theory that Animal Crossing is actually just a cult town where they just kidnapped a kid and are all dressed up like animals. I like that theory. Like, the economy doesn't fucking work at all.
Wow, who would have thought Animal Crossing was a furry town?
That's what people say. Like they're like, "Oh, Animal Crossing is just a furry Minecraft," and I'm like, "Why would you do this to me?"
What Minecraft?
But yes, yeah. So what? So besides the GameCube version, what else version have you
Also,
played?
about the GameCube version, I looked at my save file for it, my GameCube memory card for it, somewhat recently, and then saw that I had 2 towns, which was weird because Animal Crossing came with an entire memory card because the saves are supposed to take up an entire memory card. So I don't remember how I got a memory card large enough that I was just like, yeah, 2 towns, here we go.
You just
That's
broke the
impressive.
boundaries of reality right there.
I just look into it to see it full of weeds and a villager saying, "Wow, I haven't seen you in 120 months or something."
What a creep they've been counting.
I also played Wild World as a kid, and when I had a 3DS, I had New Leaf, which I played a lot. I just went and checked my playtime in the 3DS records,
Yes.
and I had 259 hours in
Good
it.
job. That's kind of horrifying. So yeah, Luz, what you were saying?
Oh, I was looking at a Reddit post about people being in denial that population growing is the subtitle to the GameCube Animal Crossing game. So Yen said you're not the only one, I guess, to be like weirded out by that. I don't think that's the official subtitle, but what do I know? The only game that I've ever played of Animal Crossing is New Horizons. So
I didn't even
Oh, is it?
think about the implications of the title until you guys laughed at it. I don't think it's the official intended full title. It's just like a little detail
Behind
they
the
added that people used as, yeah, let's just call this the full title.
Nah, they knew what they were doing. Come on, they knew what they were doing, Jensen.
well, Reddit.
The one does not simply make such a big innuendo for the title of their
Actually,
game. Come on.
I'm wondering if the Japanese subtitle is different.
Maybe we can
Animal
do some research
Crossing,
on that later.
population growing.
It's for all we know, it could just be the localizers being like, tee haha. The children will never
Animal
know.
Crossing, I know what to do with this. Mushroom, what was your experience
Oh,
with
my
Animal
experience with
Crossing
Animal
then?
Crossing. So, unlike most children, I guess, who grew up in the West, I wasn't a person who had a console, so I didn't have my own personal console until I was probably like 19 or 20.
Damn.
Wow.
And so I got a Switch. So my first console was my Switch. And so in the beginning of pandemic, so around March, I was looking at Animal Crossing and another game, I think. Oh, I think I was looking at Three Houses, like Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I was like, I guess I already spent like $50 on Three Houses. I wouldn't want to go buy Animal Crossing on the first day. And then I end up talking to my roommate, who's not really a big like gamer person, and she was like, "Oh my God, I love Animal Crossing. Like that's the only game I will play besides Mario Kart." And then we immediately decided that we were gonna split the game and just buy it. Like we bought it probably either first week it was out or we just pre-ordered it. And I wasn't really into the game, but then slowly and surely since we have 3 other roommates, we have 4 people on this island in total. We like just kept trying to do things with it. And now, without me even noticing, I have like more than 200 hours on it because everybody else also have like at least 200 hours on it.
Damn.
And it's pretty good. Like our island is growing and we have amazing villagers, and Animal Crossing New Horizon was my first Animal Crossing game.
Is your population growing though?
So yeah, Luz, what about you?
It's pretty fascinating to know that pretty much everyone but you and me have this much experience with Animal Crossing because, like you, Mushroom, I've also not played Animal Crossing up until like the recent one that released on the Switch. This was my very first foray into it, and I had only really gotten it because my little brother and my friend both kept pestering me about like, oh, get Animal Crossing, I want to play with you. I'm like, all right. They I was actually really into Stardew Valley at the time, and I was like, oh, this is fine, I love it. This is like Harvest Moon, because I was like so into Harvest Moon at the time. This is like Harvest Moon, but so much better. They actually put so much passion into it. I like Stardew Valley. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that. Funny story, I'll lose, but I'm a huge Minecraft player. Like I could just play hours and hours among Minecraft. And I had a really serious conversation with my friend before, and we decided that I should probably be the type of person that never is allowed to touch Stardew Valley, because they think if I start playing it, I will never ever see the sunlight ever again. I would just be so addicted. And because the kind of like life simulator like mining game is just like my shit. Like I could just play forever. It's so satisfying.
I feel like the
kinda
Venn
like-
diagram of fans of Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing are just like a blurry circle.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true.
I will say though, I enjoyed Animal Crossing for like the first month, and then I completely got bored of it. I know from what I've heard from people who are like big fans of Animal Crossing that New Horizons is lackluster, I guess, especially compared to New Leaf, right? From what I hear, New Leaf has like a lot more things to do than New Horizons. New Horizons is a little too open-ended. But this actually gets into how I started the whole Umineko Animal Crossing thing anyways. Because I got so bored of the original game as it is, I started coming up with things to do, kind of like as my own personal challenge, because I was so dissatisfied with the $60 that I spent on Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yeah, so basically you had the same experience I had with the 3DS one. You're just like, yeah, I guess there's nothing to do in this game. But then you created your own objective.
Yeah.
And now you have a great account.
I have,
and you're doing
yeah.
service for the community.
I have quite a bit of
Because,
following
like,
now.
honestly, in this community, in which we don't quite have official content coming out, what keeps the community alive is the fan content, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Definitely. Oh, I was just gonna say, it makes me think about that. I don't know if you guys have seen Umineta's Twitter. The pinned tweet is just like a really stupid meme of like a Beatrice that's like crackling and just says, "You're here forever now." So everybody else have talked about how long they've been in Umineko or just like the 7 expansion fandom. Like, how long were you in?
I've been in the fandom since I was 13, I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly like me. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But
So many similarities between you and I, Mushroom.
I know.
Probably
it's
why
very
we're
funny.
friends.
That's totally.
Yeah. But the anime, which does not exist for the franchise, is what brought me into the franchise. Because I was an edgy 13-year-old who had very shitty taste because I was an edgy 13-year-old. I saw the Umineko anime and I was like, wow, witches, and I don't know, it was really just witches. I didn't get what Umineko was about until like much later, when I forayed into the visual novel, but I had really officially started liking the franchise when I was 13. Yeah.
Okay, so what compelled you to actually start the visual novel?
So the anime ends in episode 4, right? With Vern Castell and Lambda like saying, "Oh, this game will not have like a happy ending" or something like that, and that's just it. And I'm like, "Oh, is that it?" I still don't get it. What? And I was kind of like stupid at the time because I was 13 years old. I didn't like I
Alright, let's go season 2. When's it coming?
yeah, basically, right? Like,
Hopefully never.
I didn't get it. I took everything at face value without really like thinking, right? So I was like, oh, I want to see more, right? I want to see, is there a season 2? Is there like more more I can like dig into? And I found the visual novel by accident.
Wait, so you actually read Umineko before Higurashi as well?
Yes, I do not know anything.
Yes, another Umineko first.
Yes, I do not know anything
So
about
glad.
Higurashi. Oh, yes, because the anime, the Umineko anime, was my first dig into it, into When They Cry. I saw like the thumbnails for the Higurashi anime, right? Studio Dean's Higurashi, and I was kind of sickened by what I saw. You know, like it was like really gross with how oh, these crazy yandere lolis, hee hee, right? XD, and that's why I never got into Higurashi. That's literally why I never got into Higurashi.
So you haven't touched it yet.
Yes.
Yes, see, Des, I'm just telling you, nobody's gonna read a Higurashi at this point after they finish Umineko.
Bruh, I
You
did.
either have to
I did. Gosh, come on. I need to get people with Higurashi. It's not bad.
I'm the only moderate here with the moderate solution of reading the first episode of Umineko first, then reading Higurashi, and then reading the rest of Umineko.
What the yeah, what the fuck was that route you took, Yancy? I just don't understand why you did that.
That's very funny.
That's definitely an original order. I've never
Well,
heard
it was just like I was starting Umineko and like kind of heard people being like, "Oh, if you read Umineko first, it'll ruin Higurashi." So I was like, "Okay, fine," and just read it after. Umineko.
Just getting bullied into reading it.
I don't mean to be judgmental of something I've not like experienced, but I have a feeling that Umineko is just peak fiction for me. And
True.
Even if I am to start Higurashi and Higurashi Go, which a lot of people have responded in my poll to go watch, I don't think.
Oh, it's fine.
I don't
watch
think
that
I'll
before
enjoy it.
don't. You're gonna be so lost. Like literally so lost. You're not gonna enjoy a single minute of it.
I heard everyone is lost. No one cares because everyone is lost. Even
No,
people
but it's
who
different
have read.
because like the anime itself is fucking shit. You know the reason we're enjoying the anime is because we know the previous story. Because the anime itself, it's a fucking like it's just not good. Not good at all. Like,
the anime is a good
know.
sequel,
I feel like Higurashi,
but like
the
if
entire
I was
story,
watching it standalone, it'd be just kind of whatever.
I feel like Higurashi, the entire story, is just not gonna hold up to Umineko, so it doesn't matter.
Definitely it won't. Yeah. Umineko, like literature peaked with Umineko. That's just a fact.
Exactly.
Yes.
I was gonna say, Des, I saw this meme on Twitter, and it was just like, it's just like those two people, like the two philosopher memes that are staring at each other, and they're like, it's it's like a VM person and a person who's only watching the anime who's watching Higurashi Go, and they're like, I don't understand what's going on, and the other person just replies, me neither. And it's just, I guess everybody's like super confused. But yeah, so
getting back to Animal Crossing and forecast though.
Yes, getting back to Animal Crossing. So, one of my question was like, how did you decide to do Animal Crossing and Umineko stuff? But like, I guess like you said, it's because Animal Crossing gave you nothing to work with, so you decided to make Umineko content. Is that what happened?
Sort of. So the first part is the base game itself is so boring that I felt like I had to give myself something to do, or else I'm going to be upset over the fact that I spent $60 on essentially nothing. But the second part is it was actually a toss-up between making my island like dedicated solely to Umineko or another fandom that I'm a part of called Evelius Chronicles, because I really like Vocaloid. Maybe I'm dating myself. Anyone heard of that?
No.
What's the song series?
Evelius Chronicles. So I could have definitely went the other path and had my Twitter.
Oh, is that the
Daughter of Evil, Servant of Evil?
Okay, yeah, okay, I know. Yes, don't worry, Luz. I think so far all of our interest, like Venn diagram, has been overlapping. I was gonna say like, I got into, I don't know if anybody know about the Kagero project. I was extremely a huge Kagero project fan when I back in like 2012. So like this is the Servants of Evil, and like, yeah, I remember all this good times with Vocaloid.
But I'm like really deep into it. Like really deep into it. Most people who know Vocaloid tend to know just Daughter of Evil, Servant of Evil, maybe Daughter of Light.
There's a manga for it. I have read the manga.
Yes, there is. Oh, you have? Oh my god.
I know nothing about the Vocaloid universe. I just know the Miku games. That's it.
Oh.
I play the Miku games. It's the only other game that I have other than Animal Crossing on my Switch. No, I just have Mega Mix on the Switch.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the Mega Mix, yeah. I also have that game. Very not good at it, but
Oh,
it's
sweet.
very entertaining.
Is there even a subject only one of you is into? Like,
That's crazy. I'm learning more and more about Mushroom in this podcast, and I'm learning that we have more and more in common.
Yeah, I think so. Just to explain how I know Luz in the first place is, I think back in, let's say, June. Was it June or maybe July?
It was June.
June.
It was June.
Okay, so back in June, I saw Luz post on Reddit, on the Umineko Reddit, of like these really cute Umineko dresses. I think the first one you did was Beatrice, and I think then you did like Shannon. And I remember I was like, oh, this is nice that I saw people doing Umineko stuff. And I definitely thought about naming my island Rokkenjima if I had my own personal game. But of course, like, we named it something else because the game was shared between 3 other people. So it was really funny because I think when we decided to start a Discord group. And we end up having a lot of people, but a lot of people don't talk. There's only like probably 5 people who talk on the regular in the Discord. But I think when I first went to Luz's island, Luz had like nothing. I think there was just a tent, and I was like, here, I'll give you a bunch of money, and like, this is how you're gonna start your game. But yeah.
Yeah, I had just started at that time. I know it was June, because I know I was 3 months late to the hype. I know everyone had bought their Animal Crossing and Switch in March, and it had taken about 3 months for my little brother and my friend to finally convince me to get one. And by then, the thing that ultimately pushed me over to Umineko instead of Evilius Chronicles was the fact that you're on an island. And, you know, like, it's way more fitting to name the island Rokkenjima, right? Because it's based off of an actual island, as opposed to the countries from Evilius Chronicles. And from there, after I named my island Rokkenjima, I was like, I could maybe just dedicate this game to Umineko.
One other question is, how do you decide what scenes you do? Like what pops in your head that'd be like, oh, I want to make this specific scene, or which one do you pick, and like, how do you work around that?
I think about everything I have in my inventory, everything that I have in my catalog in the game, and then I think, I start there, and then I think, okay, what can I do with the stuff that I currently have? And if I have most of the stuff, but like I'm missing 1 or 2, then I'm like, okay, I can maybe make the scene and ask what I need on Nakazan or on the Discord. But I do start with what I have first. I start with my limitations, because there are so many scenes that are iconic in Umineko that I haven't gotten to yet because I haven't thought of how to do it. Yeah, part of the reason why I like doing this Twitter and this Animal Crossing Umineko mix is because it really challenges my brain to come up with ways to work around the limitations. In a way, yes. The limitations is what makes it fun. But yeah, it is the first thing that I have to
definitely.
think about.
That's actually one of the questions I had for you, but basically revolving around that topic. Because it's like, sometimes when you have something you want to do, but you have some kind of limitation, you have to come up with some kind of creative solution. And sometimes it's just so fun coming up with solutions. And so, since you're basically doing that, just trying to work around with what you have, like, I wanted to ask you, what was like the thing you had the most fun trying to figure out the way to execute?
Oh my god, it was the Beatrice Valor boat scene from episode 8. Yes, that was the most fun, because that was the thing that was in my head for the longest. When I was like first starting out my Twitter, I was like at around, I don't know, 80 followers or so, right? There was this one follower who like messaged me saying, hey, can you make the episode 8 boat scene? And I'm like, I don't know that a boat even exists in the game, but I will think about it and I will get back to you. And it took me months of just like thinking about like what furniture exists in the game, what I can feasibly do, right? There were a bunch of times when I had structured and restructured my island, like making the water like lake thing and just messing around with what I have until I finally came up with what I did for that post.
Yeah, it turned out really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a very cute.
Oh, and I was gonna
yeah.
say, and Mushroom helped me with that, so very very many thanks.
Well done, Mush.
I dressed up as Beatrice and went to Luz's Island, and then later on when I came back home, or I'm not came back home, came back to my own island. It was raining, so I thought it was really funny. So I immediately decided to do a bunch of photo shoots on my own island, and then later on I was still playing and I was just digging up fossils and hitting rocks, and my roommate came over and she's like, "Who's this bitch? Like, why do you dress up like her?" And I was like, and then she's like, "Is that you?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's me." And she's like, "Could you change back? Like, this is very unsettling." And I was like, "Okay." Because
You're the Golden Witch Beatrice.
Yeah. It was just very funny to me. I have out of my 3 other roommate, one other person also have read all of Umineko because I was like, "Hey, you should read it," and she also read Higurashi, so she thought it was really cute, and she was actually there when I was running to your island and doing stuff. But it was really funny that my other roommates were just like, "What is this? Please change it back." Like, because we have such a like iconic look for each and one of us, like, because they kind of just look like our real life counterpart. So it's really funny for my roommate to freak out because she was like, "I don't know who she is. Please change."
That is really funny.
I never really thought of that. I guess for most people, they tend to base their Animal Crossing characters based on their real selves. But from the get-go, from day one, since I like first bought the game, I'm like, I gotta learn how to make Shannon. Like from day one, I have never played Animal Crossing as myself. It was always someone from Umineko.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
So is Shannon your favorite character in Umineko then?
Yasu. But you know, potato potato, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Yasu a lot. I like the complexity of the character. And Shannon is just a shortcut, like to express that. But yeah, it's the only way I can express it without like really like heavy spoilers, right? Because if I run around,
This episode this episode is not spoiler free, so you're free to speak about whatever you want.
Yeah. But when I go around like in the maid outfit but with blonde hair, I kind of run the risk of like alienating like certain people who don't know who that is, right? So Shannon is kind of like the quickest shortcut I can use to express my love for Yasu without necessarily like dating myself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I'd like to have my own question. Is there any scene that you're like just like this close to recreating, but you just are missing like just 1 or 2 like techniques or things?
The balcony scene in episode 4, where Beatrice tests Balor, trying to figure out how to make a balcony. But I think I have a plan in my head of how to do it. I just haven't really tested it yet, and I've been procrastinating it because it's gonna take a lot of time, because island construction always takes a lot of time in the game. It's so needlessly slow.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you were thinking about the balcony scene, my first thought was like, okay, so you make a cliff, like you make a second tier, and then you maybe put like fencing.
Yeah, the iron fence, and then flooring to make sure it looks like an actual balcony. There's stuff that I'm thinking about.
It sounds like a lot.
Honestly, I probably can't do it. It's just gonna be very slow. So I haven't done it yet. But
you can change the aesthetics of the corners of the floor, can you? Like the edge of the cliffs. Is
there anything you'd be able to do to like the walls?
Can you change that part as well?
Or just like put kind of wooden thing in front of it?
No, I can't.
I think you can put a panel in front of the
simple panel. Yeah, simple panel. Yeah. But I was gonna shoot it from Beatrice's point of view, so not much of it would be seen. Maybe, I don't know, but I could definitely shoot it from Balor's point of view as well. I didn't think about that. Yeah, lots to think about. The fun part about this is also the smoke and mirrors like part of it, and like how you can change certain simple parts and furniture around to make it look more than it actually is, especially like with the Beatrice Battler boat scene that I just did. Um, putting
Yeah, the rocks for water's really clever.
yes, I saw someone do it on their own island, and I was like, oh, I gotta get to it. I gotta do this. This is something I can do. Yeah.
Okay, so another question I have is that so all of the clothes you wear in Animal Crossing, all of the Beatrice or whatever, you have Zepida and Fufu, all of those were your own personal design in the game, which is essentially just doing pixel art. Like, so do you find like
Mhm.
do you like the process of it? Like that is like to itself just like an art, like to do it. It's pretty difficult. It's very like a very limited palette and it's also very small and not much you can do about it. So like so how do you like even make like most of the costumes?
It's not as limited as you would think, actually. Because in I think I've provided a screenshot, right, of the outfit
Yes,
menu, right?
Lambda's dress.
Yeah. So
Yes.
there's three like bars, like menu bars, right? You have hue, vividness, and brightness, and with those three alone, it is like quite expansive in like what you can do and the colors you can make. The only part I find a little annoying is like, so if you have like a certain hue, a certain vividness, and like a certain brightness, right? Like say orange, and you want to make like uh, the shade color for it, right? Say you're like drawing a pumpkin on Lambda's dress or something, right? And you want to shade the pumpkin. Um, in order so that it doesn't come out like very square, blocky, pixelated, you have to choose a brightness that is like more than two shades darker. Because if you choose the brightness right next to it, it will come out like blotchy and like weird. So other than that, though, it's not that limiting. To be frank, it's pretty fun to see how just what you can make on what they provide.
Yeah.
So is there just not a part of the process that you kind of dislike? You just enjoy the whole process?
Uh yeah. Even well, the only thing that I don't enjoy is the fact that they don't have long sleeve balloon hem dresses. That's something that I complain on my Twitter a lot because if you think about it, Burn Castell's dress, Pisa's dress, and like even young Angie's dress, right? They're all like
And
short,
Betos.
yeah, short dresses with long sleeves, and there's none of that
Yeah.
in Animal Crossing. So, you know, I'm a bit of a stickler for like accuracy, right? So the fact that I can't include that in my own dresses pisses me off. But other than that, um, like drawing on legs for like certain dresses like Zephyr and Furfur and Lambda, right? It's pretty fun. And yeah, I actually started the dressmaking process on Animal Crossing because I was in a bit of an artist slump because I draw. Well, not that often anymore, but yeah, I was in a bit of an artist slump. I couldn't draw and be satisfied with what I was putting out, so I took a break from that and I started dressmaking on Animal Crossing, and it engaged me artistically enough where it was like really fun, but it wasn't as like frustrating as like actually drawing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I can see that being the case.
Is there any character who is like the specific hardest to draw a costume for? Or are they all like around the same level?
I guess Lambda's dress was pretty up there in difficulty. Every no, recently I had just made Delanor's dress, and that was also a little difficult. But for the most part,
It's so good. It looks so good. Like I was looking at screenshots and I was like, wow. I liked Vanner even more now.
thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, like in case you didn't notice, my nickname comes directly from her.
Oh, oh yeah, I figured. I was like, Des, like That's the way that she ends
Yeah.
her sentences, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next question, Mush.
Okay, sorry.
$500
So I
now.
was gonna say, how long does it usually take you to do a dress? Would it be like something that you could do in an hour? I don't think it can't be that fast, right?
It's not. Well, it depends. So for certain outfits, especially like the adults, that was like really easy, right? It was like bam, bam, bam. I made all of the adults, well, except for Eva, in a matter of an hour. I was like waiting for my husband in the hospital, like in the lounge, and I just brought my Switch along with me, and like within the hour, I was done all three. But
Damn.
there are certain dresses like lambdas.
I'm just thinking that, like, I'm just thinking of that meme of, like, someone in a traumatic situation and they're just holding out their Switch. Finally enough time to play.
But yeah, so certain outfits are definitely easier than others. Virgilius's outfit was pretty easy as well. But you have Lambdas and Delanors and Witch Maria, which took at least 2 hours for me to do. Because, again, messing with the shading is a bit of time in and of itself.
I see. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was talking to Umineko, and Umineko was like, yeah, I totally follow Luz, like, Luz, like, Luz's, Twitter is so nice, I love her work, and then she's like, she made, like, the Vigilius basically for me, and she was extremely happy about that, and I thought it was really cute.
Right, you did that drawing some time ago. That painting.
Oh, yeah. I finally got back into the groove of drawing again after months and months of dressmaking on Animal Crossing, so I guess that paid off.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
more questions. So I guess we had this question already about like who's your favorite Umineko character, and for you it's Yasu. Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't think you're alone out there. There's we have people on the podcast who just loves Yasu. Yasu's a great character. There's a lot to say about her.
We literally have a host called
Yeah.
Sayome.
I think also it's a cop out for me because then I get to claim like 8 other like characters, right? Quote-unquote characters. by claiming Sayo as my one favorite character, I get to claim 8 characters at once, right?
That's very true. I will say there also is like a very overwhelming amount of Erica lovers on this podcast. That's probably why I keep asking you if you're making an Erica Animal Crossing character, just because I think would be funny. But there is another person who does Umineko Animal Crossing stuff, right?
Yeah, so when I had started doing the Umineko Animal Crossing stuff, I had started like in June, which is like pretty late because everyone else has like had Animal Crossing like islands like to the max since March, since the day it released, and I think this other user probably had it too because I've seen her post like in March, right? And by the time that I was like full steam ahead, like Umineko Crossing, I had come across her stuff, and I was like, oh wow, someone's already done this, so someone beat me to it. Oh well, I'm gonna keep going anyways. But yeah, they do really good work. Definitely, a few of my own dresses were inspired by the ones that she has designed. Her Twitter is 10th Twilight. We're mutuals on Twitter, and she had done the Umineko Crossing stuff like since March, so 3 months before me, and she serves as a huge inspiration to me even to this day. So even though I hadn't really like started it because of her, like she still serves as a great inspiration to me.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know you're not on bad terms because of that.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
That's nice because that's usually what happens. So it's good to know that's not the case here.
Well, I don't think we're on bad terms. I hope not.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Let's keep going. So
Do you have like a somewhat coherent Rokkenjima island, or is it just like kind of a disorganized movie set in a way?
It's all of that. All of that, yes. So it parts. There's a quarter of the island that is dedicated to like a disorganized photo shoot set thing, right? It's called my free space, and it changes whenever you visit it because like based on whatever I've done so far. Right now, it's like that water stone thing. I had also done my Will Leon post on that as well,
Yeah.
with the cat eyes, the darkness, that kind of stuff. Another quarter of the island is sort of a cohesive Rokkenjima. You have the main house and the chapel and the rose garden, and just a flower garden, like a rainbow flower garden, with an assortment of like different flowers, kind of to like symbolize the rose garden that they have. Because I was sick of like just gathering all of the roses, but at the same time, I wanted to like I don't know highlight the majesty of the Uchiromiya rose garden or something. But yeah, and then the other half of the island is just basic stuff. The villagers' houses, little shops. That yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say this one thing that I really enjoy on Luz's Island is that Luz has this part of the island that's actually the Corridorian, and you have to, it's like a actually pretty fenced in, and there's a lot of trees around it, and you have to walk through a lot of things to get there, and it's like supposedly in the forest, and I like that. There was very fun things about the island, but there are just parts that I could definitely tell that are just like temporary stuff that get moved
Yeah.
like all the time. The inside of the houses are really nicely decorated, I would also say that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So let's see. I guess like since we have been talking about like Umineko, what's your favorite like villager in Animal Crossing?
Um, ah, so it's a tie between two, I would say. I think Raymond and Marshall and all those like top ones are overrated. They're cute, but like I don't know. It's a tie between Teddy and Dottie. Teddy because he was my very first villager. Like when I had moved into the island, like he was there, right? And I thought he was pretty cute. He also reminds me of a friend that I have in real life who's like sporty and jockey like that. Very wholesome. uh, yeah. And Dottie because she was the first villager I found through the Nook Mile ticket like flights. And yeah, I like the fact that her eyes glow red. I like the fact that she's like mischievous and a bit of an evil side to her. I know it's because she's like the preppy villager type, right?
Yeah.
And this is like another complaint that I heard about New Horizons is that every villager type, right, has like certain lines that they all say. So all preppy villagers kind of say the same lines as Dottie. Um, Now I have Blue Bear, who's also a preppy villager, and she says the same things as Dottie, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you're,
that
you're a
doesn't
Dottie
sound
clone.
very
Who are
immersive.
you? But yeah, I think, yeah, it doesn't, which is why I'm bored with the base game and I do what I do now. But
Yeah, I remember all my friends before New Horizons came out were just like, I really hope they add more variations to villager personalities,
nope,
and
they
they just
didn't.
didn't.
They didn't. If anything, that makes it worse because back then the villagers could actually be mean and abusive to you, and now like all the villagers are very lukewarm. Um, they're too friendly. They're too friendly.
The
Abuse me.
GameCube villagers were funny. Like they could just like say, are you like mentally deficient or
That's so
something?"
horrible. What the hell?
See, I would love to play an Animal Crossing like that.
So I guess since asking about Animal Crossing villagers is more like a general topic, like what's your favorite villager, Yesed?
I don't really like know that many villagers. Like my friends are like able to recognize most villagers. I'm just like, who the fuck are these animals? Like, one of my friends is like, it, has his nickname to be after the villager Punchy,
Mm.
and he has his icon after Punchy. My personal favorite villager that's just in my town is Lolly.
Oh, I like Lolly.
I think
Lolly's
that's her
cute.
name.
What about you, Death?
Well, I don't have that big of an experience with Animal Crossing, but do you remember when the Animal Crossing mobile game came out?
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Pocket Camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like on that game, I met this villager who was like, I think she was a duck, I think, or a small bird, I don't know, a duckling or something. And I don't know, she was cute, so I'm just gonna say that's my favorite villager.
That's funny.
If not, then I guess it's the Minecraft villager.
I see, I see. I say my personal favorite villager we have on the island is I'm pretty like a basic bitch. I just really like Bob. Like Bob is just very good. And he says funny things. He's also somehow one of the first villager we were able to get on our island.
Oh,
So
lucky.
he lives in a dirt house and has dirt floor.
Living in
Oh.
a
Wait,
Minecraft
He lives on a
5 minutes
dirt
house.
house?
For people who don't play Animal Crossing New Horizon, is that one of the first things you would get, like one of the first few villagers you get, have like shitty houses because you just like provide them for them, so they don't come in with their like fancy furniture, and that's just how it is. And then because Bob is one of the first ones that we got, he has like a dirt floor and dirt wall and like crazy shitty furniture, and it
Bruh.
doesn't matter how many times we give him his flooring and his wall, like his actual flooring and his actual wall that's like that it's supposed to come with him if we got him later on, like he doesn't put it up. So I think like my roommate and I have like collectively gave him 10 of them already, and he just like doesn't put it. And like every time we see him, he's like, "Oh, I lie on the floor and talk to my bugs." And I was like, Bob, this would be really cute if you were saying this when you have actual flooring, but it's actually less cute now because your floor is dirt.
That's me with Teddy.
Bob and Anprim.
Yeah. Bob is the anarcho-primitive. Yeah, but yeah, it's just really funny. So yeah, you say Teddy also has like dirt floor
Well,
and dirt
not
wall?
dirt flooring, but like
That's
bare
unfortunate.
bones, like house, very little furniture. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, so like for people who don't play Animal Crossing, like could you explain the process of how do you make a photo shoot, like if you were doing it like in a room, I guess, like could you explain to, I guess, the listeners?
So on my Switch, kind of like how you share an island with your roommates, right? I've made accounts on my Switch. They're all me because I'm alone playing my own Switch.
Oh no, she's Yasu herself.
Yes, exactly. And now the icon makes sense. But yeah. I what I would do is I would think about the people who are needed in the shot. Um, let's say the uh, the Genji Yasu scene, right? Where Yasu like pulls out her key, right? So Genji is needed, Yasu is needed, and Lunon, the servant, is needed, right? So that's three people. Um, I'll have my main account like dressed up as the character that needs the most stuff. Like if it's like crazy eye colors or like crazy hair colors, right? That will be my main account, and then my other like alt accounts, right? We'll play whatever characters that is needed, right? So one will play Genji and one will play Unon. And I would have to like go on the alt accounts, make sure that they look the part, right? Because I can't change it from my main account. So it's a lot of switching accounts back and forth, and that's why I have 500 hours on the game. Yeah. So and then once I have like all of my alt accounts sorted, right? Like one alt account Genji, one alt account Lunon. What I would do is I would go to the airport. I would go to Harv's Island because that's where Photopia is. That's the island where you can like take photo shoots and stuff with Harv's house. And I would set up the room in like one of the rooms in his house for the photo shoot. And I'd play around with camera angles until I get exactly what I want. That's especially important with the Yasu shots because the way that the manga kind of sets her up, right, is you can never like really see her eyes, right? It's always kind of hidden with her hair. And since you can't do that with Animal Crossing, I always make sure that my shots with Yasu never shows her face.
Oh, that's really cool.
Attention to detail.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of very specifically hard things to do in Animal Crossing. I would like to bring up the point where there was a while that I remember you were on Discord and you were talking about how you wanted to make Fredorine and you were worried about how you were going to make the horns and there's all these like different options that were provided for you. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Oh, so before the Halloween update where we literally have horn bands, which was really great, there was really nothing but like a cow skull, right? And I was like, should I wear a cow skull for like Featherine's horns? I know she doesn't like. I don't want her to go hornless. But there was this other option, right? That one of the people from the Umineko Animal Crossing Discord brought up, where if you have like New Leaf, you can make these horn hats, and you can transfer these horn hats from New Leaf to New Horizons. And so she had New Leaf, and so she made a horn hat for me, right? Colored the hat black, like so that it matches Featherine's hair color, right? And I would wear the horn hat like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was what I did for a while before the Halloween update just like helped me out by giving me actual horns that I can wear on my head. Yeah, stuff like that.
So there's a lot of loops, like weird loops to jump through just to make like a character accurate to the way they are.
Yep.
I can see it.
So I guess my other question would be, what was your favorite scene that you made so far?
Oh, I guess it would be a cop-out to say the Beatrice Valor episode 8 boat scene. I keep mentioning that one so much because I love it so much. I haven't even...
It's a good scene.
Honestly, I haven't even gotten to that part yet in the manga. How do I know? I've just seen it. I've just seen it floating around, like the page. And I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. I'm gonna go recreate it. I don't even know what the context is.
Wait, are you serious?
No,
you don't actually know what happens in that scene.
Well, I think I do. I think she jumps off, right? and the whole like bottom of the ocean thing.
No.
Wait.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. My thing, I'm just gonna tell you to do this. So I guess Luz is in a very, very special scenario where she had read all of EP7 and then somehow still like trudging through EP8 manga. But I will tell you, if you're when you get to that scene, watch both the VN version and also read the manga version.
At the same time.
At the same time. Wow. Okay.
I'm joking. Don't do that.
I'm not even joking. Like, that's like, honestly speaking, not reading the VN version, I say, like, if I would to told anybody to read or consume Umineko, I would tell people to read all of EP8, like the Halloween part in a manga, and then after Halloween Party, read it all in VN, because everything about the latter part of EP8 is, if you read it in manga, it's honestly a disservice, because there's like so many amazing music and just really intense scenes.
Interesting.
And the boat scene hurts so much.
Boat ride.
Boat ride.
Okay,
I
but
see.
I don't see why people should skip the first half of episode 8 even if they've read the first half of episode 8 on manga form, because there's that cute
funny.
quiz, right? The quiz is cute. So what I advise you to do is, as Mushroom is saying, I mean, no, actually my opinion is different from Mushroom's. What I would argue is the best way to do this is to just read the visual novel, because if you're just jumping from visual novel to manga and then back, you're just kind of you're gonna get out of the mood really quickly. So what I'd say is just read the visual novel and don't really care about anything else. And then after you finish the visual novel, go back and read the manga, because it's actually not boring to read the manga since there are so many different things on the manga, right?
Yeah, the manga does have very good scenes. I will say,
and different. It's very different.
It's very like I think for me, what's the most magical thing about Umineko is the more you reread it, just the better
Yeah.
it gets.
Yeah.
I read
Yes.
all
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh.
I would say like I read all of the VN probably back in like 2012, and then I think like I read the manga back then, but not really like in detail because I think like EP8 at that time weren't even finished like coming out yet. And then I remember in EP like when I remember in like 2015 I like was in high school and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna reread Umineko but in manga form." And I just remember like sitting there and crying and I'm like, what the hell is happening to me? Like this is way it hurts so much more now because like I know what happens. But yeah. So does anybody else have I think I just went through my general questions. Do anybody
Uh,
else have any funny questions that they want to ask?
Okay, então, then
Oh.
just to close off the questioning segment. So, Les, since you like Shannon so much, if Shannon was in Animal Crossing, what piece of furniture would she be?
Wow.
Oh, that is. Oh, wow. I'm completely blindsided by this question.
It's a joke question. You don't actually have to answer that. Like give it much thought. It's just a stupid question.
Let's
It's not.
let's assign all of the people with furniture. Like let's think like what about Genji? Like what do you think Genji would be? That might be an easy
Genji
question
needs to be
say.
the most bland, like an unremarkable piece of furniture you can get in Animal Crossing. Because Genji, most of the time, he's just there. He's just there in the scene.
He should be one of the potted plants.
Potted plants.
Okay, which character would be the froggy chair?
Oh,
I
it's
wish the
so
froggy
sad
chair
that the froggy
existed.
chair
The
doesn't even exist in Animal
Yeah.
Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, why did they just skip over the most iconic
It was too
piece?
powerful.
It is.
They just wouldn't have a bank account big enough to hold their money if they
I
added
was
Froggy
gonna
Chair.
say, everybody I knew was so excited about the Froggy Chair before Animal Crossing New Horizon dropped, and when everybody learned that a New Horizon didn't have the Froggy Chair, they were like, "What's the point of buying the game then? No Froggy Chair."
Cancel the pre-order and sell it. I don't want the game anymore.
Okay, crack theory. The froggy chair grew up and became the frog in Syconia. And Syconia came out before New Horizons.
And that's where the froggy chair went. I see.
Quero apoyo.
That's funny.
Yancy, fucking finish reading Kikonya, fucking asshole. How come you come here speaking Kikonya shit and you haven't even finished Kikonya, bro? For how much time have you been reading Kikonya? Like, just finish it. Yancy, I want to do an episode on Kikonya.
Maybe after I'm done with all the other things, like,
Well, why did you start those
playing
other
Holy
things in between
Scholarship
Kikonya?
Edition and playing Yakuza 1.
Yakuza 1?
Yeah, I just decided to start those two games on a whim after already being in the middle of Syconia.
You are so stupid. Jens,
This is coming for him.
seriously, bro.
Well,
Seriously.
think about it. Well, think about it this way, though. Jensen can't cry about Syconia Phase 2 if he never finishes Syconia Phase 1, right?
Well, that is true. Don't give him ideas. Don't give him
I
ideas.
tend to
He doesn't need more
I tend
arguments.
to, like, delay things when I know that I'm, like, not really getting much more of it, which is why I still, like, haven't finished every Ace Attorney game, because, like, I know there's not going to be any anytime soon.
That is the most nihilistic way of playing games. It's just like, well, I guess I'll never know what's gonna happen, so what's the point of even starting it?
Well, like...
So, like, if you were
just,
eating...
like, I'll kind of try to low-key delay it, like, not be in any rush.
Okay, Jansid, I have a question for you. You have the most delicious meal in front of you. But like that's the last meal on earth. You wouldn't eat it because it's like after that meal there's not gonna be anything else. You're just not gonna eat it. Boy, just pick up Skikonya. Come on, you can do it.
I mean, it's more of just a low-key tendency than a real, like, mindset.
I can't believe that this episode just
I
becomes
don't know what I'm
Des
fucking
berating
saying anymore.
Vincent about not reading Syconia. Okay, so let's keep going then. So, I mean, I guess since we're on the Seconia topic, Luz, have you thought about reading Seconia?
No. I was sort of serious when I had said what I had said. I kind of think I don't really want to get into it because then I'll be like upset that there's no Seconia Phase 2 and Rikishi's not going to update it anytime soon because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
understand that. I'm also the type of person that if I get sucked into something, I would just actually be obsessed with it. And I think not like especially being in a fandom like Seven Expansion fandoms, I am the type of person if I finished the original thing, I would go read the novel. If it had one, I would go read the manga, and then I would probably like comb through every single fanfic I can possibly find. And if you're in like a tiny fandom, like you get none of that. Like
Yeah.
one day we're gonna make an episode about like just Umineko fanfic out there because I tell you I have read all of them and I could probably just like tell you about them because there's literally none and they're not ones I want anyway, and it's just so upsetting. Like it's just being
Oh
a
my god.
Umineko fan is tragic.
Speaking of fanfics, there is this one that I have saved for the longest time, like a Shannon and George one, and I keep putting it off because it's like, oh, I know this is not like a happy fic, like this is like when George kind of knows about Yasu and all that, right? Like in the future, like a future AU kind of thing. And like, oh, I know this isn't gonna be a good like happy fic. I'm gonna put it off until I have the mental like fortitude to read
Capacity
it.
to
But
read
yeah,
it.
yeah, and I never do, and it's still sitting in my AO3 this entire time being unread
Oh, that's
because
really funny. I will. Okay, speaking about if we're just going on a really random small tangent about fanfics, I will recommend a fanfic on AO3 that is it's a essentially I consider it mostly canon, but it's a story between Ikuko and Toya.
okay.
It's I think I forgot what it's called. I think it used to be called Boy Meet Girl, but like it's a really stupid. It had a really dumb name, but then I think they changed it later on. And it's like 40 chapters. It's actually not a long read, and it's honestly so depressing. Like there's a
Damn.
part in the story where they keep mentioning that they live off a cliff, and then everybody I remember I was just wrote in the comment I was like one day like Toya is gonna like go off that cliff and it's gonna be bad. I'm
Ah.
gonna be really upset.
Ah. Damn. You need to send us that. Like, send that to the resources channel. Like, sometime in the
Yeah, it's
future.
really good. It's a really good fanfic that explores like the friendship between Ikuko and Toya and how confused Toya is. And then there's just like all of these hatred that Toya has for like himself and just like the utter confusion and all of these ghouls like in his dreams that are constantly haunting him. And I
Oh,
was like, there's literally two. There's another one that's just like a Toya. It's like a weird self-cess between Toya and like Battler, but it's actually kind of fun. I don't know. I don't know how to
all of
explain it.
these
It's
sound
good.
really fun,
It's
and I'm not
just
even supposed to know who Ikuko and Toya is at the moment.
oh
No,
okay.
you do
Oh
know who
okay.
Ikuko is, doesn't she?
Oh, well, yeah, you're right,
Mushroom,
you're right.
help me with this.
Episode
Yeah,
6, that's right. But not
yeah,
Toya
you're right. You
is,
just don't know
yeah.
who Toya is. Yeah, okay. No worries. I guess I won't go into it more, but yeah, it's fun. Let's think. I think I ran out of my basic questions now. Does anybody
Uh,
have any crack questions
I
now? Like just
came up with a
general
question
Umineko
actually.
questions?
Okay, I'm going to ask this question like a grenade thrown in a conversation.
Oh my god.
You ever time travel?
Wait, I'm sorry?
You ever time travel?
No.
Do you time travel in in
Oh,
Animal
I thought you
Crossing?
meant in real life. um,
Yeah, we almost found out your secret.
yeah.
We aren't gonna expose it like that.
Yes, I do time travel in Animal Crossing a lot. It's how I get good lighting for the ones that are inside, like in rooms. I know that's something that you don't really think about, but like yeah. Uh
Oh yeah, I didn't even really think of like time traveling just for like time of day.
Yeah, time of day. So
That makes sense.
I tend to time travel to 11 a.m. for like best indoor natural lighting. And then I find that 1 p.m., 2 p.m. gives you like the clearest night sky if it's clear, if it's like not raining or anything like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I see. How about real life?
You only really time travel for time of day and not the date.
Oh, of course not. I do that too. I time travel also get more furniture of things. Sometimes I time travel because
Construction, probably.
yeah, construction. Yes, to speed up construction because I do not have time for that. Sometimes, before me and Mushroom like cheese the hell out of the stock market, uh, I was thinking of time traveling for like money purposes, right? Flick and the other one, the beaver one. But at this point, I'm like so
CJ?
loaded that I don't even need to time travel for money anymore. Every once in a while, I'll get a letter in the mail saying I get like 9,999 in interest in my bank account because the actual number is so large that I get the max interest allotted to me. And I'm like, oh cool, more money. But yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. You really are? Yes, you are.
I
Yeah.
thought the reaction to that question would be a debate of like, no, don't time travel, that is wrong. But there's so few
No,
people that's just kind of like, whatever.
Haha, time go brrrr.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
you're talking to someone who kind of dislikes the base game. Like, if I actually liked what the game was, I'm sure I would like advocate against time traveling. But like, I don't care. You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about having
Yeah.
I
a
think
fun.
it's like a little cheap to time travel, but like, whatever, you bought the ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this the whole story about how Liz and I just essentially like completely destroyed the stock market was because I think there's one day Luz like posted in Discord was like, oh my like turnip price is like $600 or 500 like 500 bells. And my first thought was, wait, let me time travel and I'm gonna be like on Sunday morning and then we're just gonna come like we're gonna go back and forth and make like essentially like $10 million, like 10 million bells because I have no standards and I believe in like max profit in games, of course. So I think like even back then, we were talking about like, oh, is it good to time travel or not? And I don't know, like a lot of people are super into like not, and the gatekeeping is not the correct word, but people are very strict about time traveling or they think they're not getting the full experience of the game. I honestly think like if it makes you happy, like you're getting the full experience of the game. Like if time travel is what you want to do, like just do it. It's fine.
I agree with Mushroom. I
Because it's
agree.
fine if you like missed something, but if you're like, I will time travel to get all of the interest, then it's like,
I mean that you also be like you kind of be would have to say like you have to time travel like at least like for a long time just to even get like more interest stuff. Like I say like if you just want to time travel like between a week or even like say like time travel a month because you didn't get the last month's fish, I think that's okay. I mean, I don't know. I feel bad just to like mess with my villager just to be like, hey, I'm gonna time travel into 10 years later. Like that's horrifying. Like I don't want to do that.
Oh, I just remembered. So two things. One, I had time traveled to my birthday on July. So I had put my birthday as like my actual birthday, right, which was in October, because sometime in July, I don't remember the actual date, but it was Natsui's birthday, and I was like, oh, I want to throw like an actual like birthday party for Natsui in game, right, and make a post about it. But I don't have any birthday stuff, so I time traveled then to get like birthday stuff for her. And then the other time I time traveled was to get Battler's hair. Battler's hair that I currently use is the bedhead hair, and you have to like be inactive for a month, right? So if you like, well, I guess I got it just by doing the Natsuhi thing, thinking about it. But yeah, because if you time travel for a month, then you're like inactive for a month, and so you get the bedhead hair. Yeah, so there are certain things that I use for my shots that I needed to get time travel too. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else questions do we
Well,
have?
I did have a
Okay.
Go for
question
it,
though.
Death.
So you haven't touched
Yes.
Higurashi, and we actually did an episode about whether people should start with reading Higurashi or Umineko, and one of the things we touched upon was that we suppose that, and you're gonna be like, you're just gonna tell us what your position on this is. We suppose that the reason people don't want to start Higurashi after they read Umineko is not only because Higurashi doesn't sound appealing to people after reading Umineko, but also because they kind of don't want their experience with Umineko to be tainted by Higurashi per se.
I haven't.
Like, do you identify with this, or
I actually haven't heard of that before. Like, the experience of reading Umineko tainted by Higurashi. That's strange. Like, I mean, I don't know anything about Higurashi enough to say that like anything in there is gonna taint the experience or not. But I mean, like, I don't understand why reading Higurashi or like, I don't know, something like that would ruin.
because imagine, like, you have this, because suppose Umineko builds upon Higurashi, the world of Higurashi, but it ends up being much bigger. So like, when people read Umineko, then when you're starting Higurashi, it's not like if it's something separate from Umineko. Higurashi is very much intertwined with Umineko. So for example, you have a character like Bern Castell, for example, and like she comes from Higurashi, right? Obviously, and so like the image people have of Bern, it's a very specific image when you're reading Umineko, and so I guess people are like, man, I kind of fear that my image of Bern is gonna change in Higurashi, since this character in Higurashi that pretty much looks like Bern seems so much different from the Bern I know. I don't want this character to be different from what I know her as. Because Higurashi can be for Umineko, maybe Ryukishi wasn't as good of a writer, maybe he messed up some of the characters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I definitely know that sentiment, that particular sentiment. But me personally, like, I wouldn't really find an issue with that per se. Like, I can understand like other people who might share that sentiment of like, oh, I know Bern to be a certain character, and I wouldn't want that image to be like tainted with this other interpretation or whatever of Bern. For me personally, like if I were to go into it like if I were to go into that with the current Bern that I know, I would think of it as like, oh well, this like the stuff that happens in Higurashi, the Bern of Higurashi is like an earlier rendition of her, right? So the Bern that we know of in Umineko, like while you know they are connected, right? Like I mean, the me currently that is 22 years old is way different than the me that is 13 years old, even if we are the same person, right? Like that wouldn't necessarily taint who I am as a person 22, like at 22, even though the me at 22 is a direct result of like what I've experienced like at 13, you know? I don't know. I would think about it like that. But really the anime only fan base of Higurashi really pushes me away from the series.
I mean, does Higurashi even have an anime only fan base?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a huge anime only fan base. What are you talking about?
Yes, that is
what?
Huge. Umineko doesn't, but
well, like, yeah, it doesn't really have like an anime only fandom, but there is a pretty big anime only fan base. If you get what I'm trying to say.
What's the difference between those two terms?
Very different. Just like, I mean, have you, that's just, this is my thoughts on it, but have you seen that post about how people are like, why is most of like Higurashi like anime fans who are like, oh, are just like some weird ass like right wing pedo chuds, and then meanwhile everybody on like Umineko sides are just like the Tumblr gays, and it's like that's like the whole joke, but like it is kind of real. Like Salome just talked about how she went on to TikTok to go find like Higurashi stuff, and she immediately found like some creepy things about how like, ooh, my wife who is 12 years old, like it's just kind of creepy.
No, but what I mean is like, what is there to talk about the anime in Higurashi? What you hear people mentioning about the Higurashi anime is like, oh yeah, I grew up with this. I watched this when I was I like this anime.
But,
like you don't actually
like,
have an active fan base that's like, oh yeah, this and that, like discussing shit, like we're here doing with Umineko.
No, but I say it's very different though.
Okay, well, what I was.
Sorry, yes, go for it.
What I was saying with like the different fandom and fan base are like pretty notably different terms, because like fan base is just the people who are fans of it, and fandoms are the people who like interact with and create content for the community and stuff. Because like I'm saying, like the Higurashi anime only fan base is pretty big in the sense that you'd see a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, I watch Higurashi, I like that show.
Okay, so what would you call someone who just watched the anime but doesn't partake in any of the fandom / fan base stuff? So they just watch the anime and that's it. Where
Would
are
still
they
be
at?
considered fan base?
Like
they're just considered as
yeah,
fan
like
base.
There's the big fandom, the smaller fan base. So are they in the fan house?
No, okay, no. So
no, the fan base would be the bigger one, and the fandom is a smaller one.
Yeah, fandom is a smaller concept than fan base.
How
Fan
did I
base
get
is
that
just
wrong?
everybody who have watched this, and then fandoms are people who actively like contribute. I think is our definition.
I am so confused.
Anyway, the point of the story is that
Thank you for going to a TED Talk.
there's a lot of people. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of shitty to actively be shitting on Higurashi Higurashi fans in general. But like, I have had there's a reason why I like Umineko way more than Higurashi, and there's something, and I always thought it was kind of unfair, like in my personal thought, because I always thought Umineko was a way better and a more advanced story than Higurashi, but Higurashi ended up getting all the love and everybody knows about it because the anime was like successful enough that people have watched it back in like 2009, and also like so on and so forth. But honestly speaking, it's kind of upsetting, and also just like most of the fandom is trash. Like everybody who likes, I mean, anime fandom's trash already. Like, it's just, like, a bad time. But it's all extra bad time when it's just, like, Kishi writing shitty things about young girls getting sexualized because he thinks it's funny, and then just, like, also brutally murdering them. But, like, at the same time, I don't, like, the fan base, like, not the fan base. The fandom is not critical enough of that. Instead, they just roll with it and then just like go on with it. It's like the same problem I have with Doki Doki Literature Club fandom. It's like a lot of waifu wars and sexualizing young children.
Yeah, the point of it is,
how the fuck did the Doki Doki Literature Club fandom become the way it is? Like, it's just this like 3-hour little like trick of a game, and then it just got a normie anime fan dumb type shit. Like, Jesus
I have so much hatred for Doki Doki Literature Club, not even because I think it's a bad game. I just think it's like, it's really upsetting to me that like an American based like company made a visual novel and then just somehow became like what every fucking normie anime fan think of what like a visual novel is. And I'm like, people are like, oh, Doki Doki Literature Club is like so subversive, and I was like, you think it's subversive because you have never read a visual novel before.
True.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Anyway, sorry. Luz, what were we gonna say?
I lost my train of thought.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Either way.
Anyway, so Des, does that make kind of sense about the thoughts of Higurashi fandom?
No, I'm still confused about the two terms. But anyway, I'm just glad between Higurashi and Umineko. I'm glad Umineko isn't the one getting that treatment. You know, Umineko is like, if I had to choose, I'd choose the way things are. I don't want Umineko to be in Higurashi's situation.
I agree, like 100%. I feel like if Umineko was the one who had the successful anime and people flocked to it, right? More people means like more chances of like normies ruining things, of
Or just
Yeah.
like bad
Yeah.
discourse.
bad discourse,
Just like
yeah,
horrible
yeah, or
discourse.
people completely missing the point, right? More Rosatress,
Yeah.
is definitely gonna happen as well.
More
Um,
Rosatress. Yeah, Luz, I was telling Des and about everybody else in the group about this Facebook group that I am in. I'm in a Umineko, or not like a 7 expansion, like Facebook group that's just like about memes, but they're also just like, so somebody in there like posted this thing, which is like, how could you be transphobic and also read Umineko? And then everybody end up dogpiling on this person and then essentially just chase them out of the community. And then their ending conversation was like, oh, everybody sucks on both sides. And I was like, but no, how do you like finish reading the whole part of Umineko and still come out and being like, oh, queer people, fuck them.
yeah, so I feel like the more Umineko like is known to like the normie public, the more that stuff will happen. I know that's like very depressing way to look at it, but I feel like I like the way things are. I like the fact that Higurashi got that treatment and not Umineko.
I don't know if Umineko's even like the normie public infiltrating it, because I kind of blame like it starting out on 4chan partially.
Oh, I do remember those days. I don't have much to add about it.
Well, I don't know those streets. I've never been to those streets before. I don't even know how to access 4chan, to be honest.
It's better that way. It's okay, Des. Don't even think about it. Well, since we went on so many trips, I guess, do anybody have any other closing thoughts, closing questions?
Oh, website. The website. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, right. You basically
Oh, yeah,
created a
someone was saying
website to
that
make
website.
Umineko in like to post your pictures chronologically. Basically, make Umineko in Animal Crossing in a new website, right?
Yes. So I'm sorry to sound like I'm shilling or like plugging, but yeah.
No, go ahead. Like,
I mean, that is a little bit of the purpose of guest episodes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, I am not even sure if we are plugging you or you're plugging
yeah,
us.
I think it's worth plugging us, to be honest. We have
Yeah,
like
honestly
88
speaking,
subs.
you have a bigger fan base than we do right now.
You guys are great.
Is that a
though.
fan base or a fandom, though?
Shut up, Ben.
So, hold on, let me pull it up. So the website is called uminekocrossing.wixsite.com/ccats. The /ccats is important because if you don't put it, it'll say, oh, what page not found, because I don't want to have to like pay for an actual domain for a site. Like, yeah, I just made a free website on Wix.com. No particular reason why Wix. I was just like, oh, okay, I guess this is a website builder. I'll go check it out. And it's just kind of like a digital photo album. So I realized I'd made so many of these shots, right? I'm like, how much of this can actually retell Umineko? Like, wouldn't it be cool if I could like sort of retell the entire visual novel? Like through these Animal Crossing shots, like through like a chronological photo album. And so that's what I did. On the site, there's a menu bar, right? And the menu bar has each episode listed on there, as well as like an extras tab. And the extras tab is just like all the outfits and codes that are made so far. And the episode tab like has photos of the scenes that happened in that episode that I've like made so far.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Can you
Everybody
imagine
should go
10
check
years
it out.
from now? 10 years from now, fucking, what's it called? Like that website that just has patches with PS3 sprites. 10 years from now, it's gonna have Animal Crossing sprites, and it's just your shit.
That would be hilarious. Oh my god, if that would be hilarious.
I've
if someone
wondered
were
why.
to take.
I've wondered why no one has made like a sprite set mod for Umineko that replaces everyone with like cute furry versions of themselves called Umineko.
Why? Why would someone?
See, it's because Umineko is not normie enough. If you
Someone
expose
start
too many
working on
people,
that.
oh my god. if you expose enough people, someone will do it. But it's just because Umineko is still niche that no one has done it yet.
Yeah, and honestly speaking, the more and more we go on, this fandom is just dying. It's pretty funny that we decided to finally make a podcast after, like, I guess, like, 10 years of this, like, the whole thing even ended. Like, I got into Umineko in 2012, and I still felt that it was a very tiny niche fandom, and 10 years later, somehow I'm still here.
I
So,
wouldn't
10
say
years
fandom
still
is
going
dying.
strong.
It's pretty much
Yeah,
alive.
10 years still going strong. I feel like
I think there's
it's
like
pretty lively.
good time for the 07 fandom because
Yeah,
there's like
really.
a new Higurashi anime, and there's also Sakonia eventually. But like we still have like content and things happening. But like, I guess if you
Yeah, it's
like close
fun.
specifically to Umineko instead of just the 07th expansion fandom, then I guess maybe.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty incredible. I'm impressed. Somehow pretty incredible after 10 years. The magical man that we call Yukishi is still just like staying somewhere in his little corner writing incredible fictions and just like throwing it out there with his shitty
Sometimes
art.
writing incredible fiction, other times writing Higurashi.
Sometimes, yes, that's very true.
That was in the past.
Did he write that?
Huh?
Or just like some rando horny dude at Dean did that?
Well, but you know what he did write? Fucking Higambana. And that's not cool.
Oh yeah, he did write Higurashi. People, I will tell you not
You're like
to.
the
Okay,
only person I hear who dunks on it.
really? Everybody else you know likes Higurashi. Why would they?
No, everybody else he knows
Whoa.
he didn't
It
read
seems like
Higambana. It's different.
So little people have read
See?
Higurashi that the
What did I
people who
say?
do read it are like, oh yeah, it is
What?
good, I guess.
I think there's like 14 nights. I don't remember how many nights. There's a bunch of nights in Higurashi, and I say out of all of those, only 4 story is actually good, and the rest is just like kind of intense. I mean, Higurashi is the type of thing that you read and you are like, I'm seriously concerned of this man named
Yeah.
Yukishi. Like, is he okay? Why is he writing
Yeah,
this?
you know what's the difference between Higambana and Higurashi? It's not the themes, because Higurashi does have some pretty fucking disturbing themes. The difference is that in Higurashi, he paid attention to what the fuck he was doing, and he fucking was careful not to approach the subjects in a wrong way. And then in Higambana, he's just like, yep, let's just open up the story with a middle schooler being raped. Let's just do that.
fucking go!
Yeah, no, it's really, really uncomfortable. Like the first story, like if you thought like so the first story involves like a middle school. Is she a middle schooler or elementary schooler? I don't remember.
I
Like,
think it might be elementary
yeah, I think she's
school.
an
It's
elementary
like,
schooler. Like
the
getting.
sprites don't really look like that.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. Anyway, Ryukishi starts with like a girl getting essentially sexually assaulted by a teacher, and then you're like, okay, this is your first story. And then I think like 5 story down the line, he's like, and then this is my animal cruelty episode, and I was like, I didn't sign up for this, Ryukishi. Like, please stop. But this is my PSA on please don't or / do read Higurashi so we can have more people and like shine a light on how horrible it is.
Yeah.
I guess we used up a lot of time. So any closing thoughts?
Opinions on Amiibo Festival? I feel like probably no one's here's played it.
What is that even? What are you even talking about?
Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
Do you not know the masterpiece that is that game, Mushroom?
No, I don't. Enlighten me.
Okay,
have you not heard
imagine
of it?
Mario Party, but it's with Animal Crossing characters, and it
Wait,
fucking
what?
sucks.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
It's not
so
a good
at,
game.
At an E3, Nintendo was like showing Animal Crossing on the Wii U, and everyone like watching it was like, "Oh my God, we're getting Animal Crossing on an HD console," and then it just cuts, and it's a fucking board game.
Really?
Yes.
I don't have the
and-
Wii U, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I never
and
had
it's
the
like
Wii U either.
not even a remotely good board game. It's like on the level of fucking Candyland, but you have to use amiibos to hop around the spaces. It's so stupid.
Wow,
I
that's
see.
today I'm just learning all these deep lore Animal Crossing things. I just learned that the Animal Crossing GameCube is called Population Growing, and now I learned about Amiibo Fest. Horrifying.
Yeah, me.
Famitsu gave it a 32 out of 40.
I feel like even though I'm the one with the Animal Crossing Twitter, Yensid knows the most Animal Crossing lore out of all of us.
Okay, so
Well, to close this episode, I just
let's
want.
close this.
Yeah, we're running really late. Well, to close this, I just wanted to quickly go back to the fandom part because, once again, we touched upon this at the start, and we touched upon this like 10 minutes ago, which is the thing that keeps the community alive is the fan content. Since even before the Higurashi anime was announced, fandom was pretty much on a standstill because we didn't have official content. So the thing keeping the community alive is the fan content. So if you're listening to this and you just have some kind of idea that you would like to put into motion, but you just can't find it within yourself to just start doing something, like if you have some kind of idea that you feel like would contribute to the community, whether it's drawing, making something related to music, maybe some gameplay, like reading through the visual novel and giving your thoughts on it, or a big project like ours, or like just picking some game and doing something Umineko related, like Les here did. There's so many ways to provide fan content and to be an active part of this community. So what I wanted to close this episode on is, if you have some kind of idea that you feel like would be a good inclusion in this community, then just try it out and see if it works.
Yeah, do it. Write your shitty fanfic that's always have been in your mind for like 10 years, which I should probably start doing. Or make music. There has been amazing Higurashi Umineko fan music over the years that's like from Japan. And they're incredible. Make a lot of art. Keep the fandom alive. Like,
yeah.
I want to see Umineko fans again in 10 years.
Well said, well said.
So yep, this was the episode. Do check out Wes Twitter. It is a very creative Twitter account. Do check out our Twitter as well. And, like the video and subscribe. Haha, typical YouTuber things. You know the drill. Come on.
Yeah.
And comment. We like to read comments.
Leave us comments
Nice.
about all of the Animal Crossing facts that you know. I would like to learn more, I guess.
Yeah, why did no one comment on the Umineko episode? That was like the episode with the most views we've had since the introduction episode, and 0 comments. What the hell, guys?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
sleeping.
Why do nobody comment on the iceberg episode? It's such a good episode. People comment on that episode too.
I guess the episode left them
Well, yeah,
speechless.
add to the Animal Crossing lore. I'd love to hear more.
Have a nice day. See you again.
Yeah,
See you
yeah,
again.
just that. Have a nice day. Well, yeah, you guys should have also said something. Like, come on. Okay, take 2. See you again. Come on, what the fuck? You need to say
I'm
something.
not gonna say it now because it's too awkward. We can't do it now. It's
Okay.
never gonna be natural.
Okay, then let's just.